The tote bag stays on the passenger's seat for a moment after the engine is off. It is not heavy in the way boxes are heavy, or groceries, or laundry carried from the dryer while someone is asking where something went. It is a quieter weight. A folded sweater. A notebook. A few papers you did not need today, but brought anyway, because routine still knows the way even when life has changed. By 7:45, the street is still moving. A car passes. Somewhere farther off, tires press through a wet patch or an old dip in the road. The mailbox stands near the small front step, and the porch light gives just enough brightness to see the edge of the walk. You cleaned up before leaving, though no one asked. You put things back. You made the space easier for the next person. Even after being laid off, even while carrying that private looseness in the chest, some part of you kept being steady. Now the commute has brought you here. Not fixed. Just here. For 1 minute before going inside, the house stays quiet, and the street keeps its distance. The tote bag waits in the car like it understands. The walk from the car to the porch is not very far. It is the kind of distance a body knows without thinking. One hand reaches for the handle. One foot finds the driveway. The door closes with that small, familiar sound that always seems louder in the evening, when the neighborhood has begun to lower itself but has not gone quiet yet. The tote bag remains behind you. It sits on the passenger seat with its straps fallen open, holding the shape of a day that did not know what to do with itself. There may be nothing urgent inside it. Maybe a folder. Maybe a lunch container that never came out. Maybe the small ordinary things a person carries so they can feel as if the day still has a beginning and an end. You do not pick it up right away. For a moment, that is enough. The street keeps moving beyond the house. Headlights slide past the mailbox and then disappear. Somewhere down the block, a dog gives one low bark, then stops. A car door shuts. A neighbor's porch light is already on. Nothing in the world pauses completely, but the small front step gives you a place to stand while the motion goes around you. There are evenings when arriving home is simple. The key turns. The bag comes in. Shoes are set near the door. The kitchen light is switched on. A person moves from one room to another because dinner has to happen. Laundry has to finish, someone has to call back, the trash has to go out before morning. And there are evenings when arriving takes longer. The body is home before the heart has crossed the street. The shoulders are near the porch, but some quieter part is still sitting at a stoplight, still passing the same gas station, still watching the rearview mirror hold a little strip of sky. That is what this commute has been tonight. Not only a way back from one place to another, but a narrow bridge between the person you had to be out there and the person who is allowed to stand here without performing steadiness for anyone. You have been expected to be steady. Maybe not in a loud way. Maybe no one ever said it directly. But the expectation lived in little places. In how quickly you answered. In how you knew where things went. In how you cleaned up without being asked, because leaving a space easier than you found it felt like the least you could still do. Even after the layoff, the hands remembered. They straightened a chair. They gathered a cup. They wiped down what someone else might not notice. They made a small order in a room where your own life had begun to feel less ordered. There is a particular quiet in that. Not noble. Not dramatic. Just quiet. On the porch, the air touches your face in a way the car air could not. The street noise is farther away now, thinned out by the little stretch of yard, the mailbox, the dim edge of the walkway. You can hear the house from here, though it may not be making much sound. Maybe the refrigerator inside. Maybe a floorboard settling. Maybe nothing but the waiting shape of rooms that have held you before. The commute is over, but it is still doing its work. It has given you the traffic lights, the turns, the slow lane, the small delay at the intersection. It has given you time to not know what comes next. It has carried you without asking you to explain yourself. Mile by mile, it let the day loosen its grip without ever saying that everything was fine. Now the tote bag is still in the car. You glance toward it once through the window, not because you have forgotten it, but because it has become the place where the day can sit for a little longer. It does not need to be brought in this second. It does not need to be emptied. It does not need to become evidence of usefulness, or progress, or plans. For this minute, it can remain there. And you can remain here. The house does not rush you. The step does not ask what happened. The mailbox stands beside you with the plain patience of ordinary things. The street keeps moving, and somehow that does not make you feel left behind. It only means the world is still carrying on. And you are still part of it, standing in the small quiet between the car and the door. The small front step holds only what it can hold. A little porch dust. The edge of the welcome mat. Maybe one leaf pressed flat near the mailbox, too dry now to belong to any tree you can see. The step is not wide enough to become a room, but tonight it feels like one anyway. A room without walls. Behind you, the car is cooling in the driveway. Small clicks come from under the hood, the kind of sounds that arrive after movement ends. The tote bag sits where a passenger might sit, turned slightly toward the windshield, as if it has been looking ahead all evening. It has ridden with you through the ordinary public places. The office lot. The road with the fast food sign near the corner. The gas station where someone stood beside a pump, looking tired in the same way you were tired. The red light where every car became its own small room, each person facing forward, each person carrying something no one outside could see. There is a strange kindness in that. Not a big kindness. Only the kind that comes when you notice that the world is full of people going home with private weight beside them. A backpack on a bus seat. A purse tucked under an arm. A work bag on the floor of a train. A paper sack on someone's lap in the checkout line. Things ordinary enough to be ignored, and still somehow faithful. Your tote bag has been faithful in that way. It did not ask what the day meant. It did not ask what you would do now. It simply held the few things you carried out with you, the things that made you feel shaped like a person with somewhere to be. Maybe that is why it feels difficult to bring it in. Inside the house, the rooms will make the evening real. There will be lights to turn on or leave off. A counter with something on it. A chair pulled slightly away from a table. Maybe a plate in the sink, maybe a towel not quite dry, maybe the quiet evidence that life kept going while you were gone. Out here, nothing needs to be named yet. The porch lets you stand between the day and the room that knows you. The street noise stays at a distance, softened by the yard, by the dusk, by all the other houses keeping their own evening. A passing car throws light across the mailbox for 1 second and then removes it. The mailbox returns to itself. So do you, a little. The small front step holds only what it can hold. A little porch dust. The edge of the welcome mat. Maybe one leaf pressed flat near the mailbox, too dry now to belong to any tree you can see. The step is not wide enough to become a room, but tonight it feels like one anyway. A room without walls. Behind you, the car is cooling in the driveway. Small clicks come from under the hood, the kind of sounds that arrive after movement ends. The tote bag sits where a passenger might sit, turned slightly toward the windshield, as if it has been looking ahead all evening. It has ridden with you through the ordinary public places. The office lot. The road with the fast food sign near the corner. The gas station where someone stood beside a pump, looking tired in the same way you were tired. The red light where every car became its own small room, each person facing forward, each person carrying something no one outside could see. There is a strange kindness in that. Not a big kindness. Only the kind that comes when you notice that the world is full of people going home with private weight beside them. A backpack on a bus seat. A purse tucked under an arm. A work bag on the floor of a train. A paper sack on someone's lap in the checkout line. Things ordinary enough to be ignored, and still somehow faithful. Your tote bag has been faithful in that way. It did not ask what the day meant. It did not ask what you would do now. It simply held the few things you carried out with you, the things that made you feel shaped like a person with somewhere to be. Maybe that is why it feels difficult to bring it in. Inside the house, the rooms will make the evening real. There will be lights to turn on or leave off. A counter with something on it. A chair pulled slightly away from a table. Maybe a plate in the sink, maybe a towel not quite dry, maybe the quiet evidence that life kept going while you were gone. Out here, nothing needs to be named yet. Not all at once. Not in some clean, finished way. More like the way eyes adjust when the light changes. More like the body beginning to believe it no longer has to answer the next question right away. You did answer enough today. The quiet does not arrive all at once. It comes in pieces. First, the engine stops. Then the last vibration leaves your hands. Then the street noise becomes something outside of you instead of something you are moving through. A few minutes ago, every sound belonged to the commute. The tires, the turn signal, the brake lights ahead, the radio turned low because nothing on it seemed to fit. Now the sounds have more distance. The passing cars are not asking anything of you. They are only passing. The air has its own thin movement near the porch, brushing against the side of the house, touching the mailbox, lifting the corner of a dry leaf and setting it down again. You stand there and let the evening be ordinary. That may be the first kindness of it. The world does not change its shape just because your life has shifted. The same houses sit along the street. The same cracks run through the edge of the driveway. The same porch light comes on and makes a small circle that is not beautiful in a large way, only useful, only familiar. Sometimes useful is enough. Inside the car, the tote bag waits with the quiet loyalty of an object that has gone where you went. It sat beside you when you pulled out of the lot. It leaned slightly when you turned onto the main road. It caught the faint glow of traffic lights, red and green and red again, while your mind moved between what was said today and what was not said. There are things a person does not repeat out loud once they get home. Not because they are secret exactly. Because saying them would make the room carry more than it needs to carry in the first few minutes. Because the mouth is tired. Because the heart has not chosen the words yet. Because the day is still folded in a way that cannot be opened without making everything fall out. So the tote bag keeps holding it. For now, that is its small mercy. A bag can hold papers without asking what they mean. It can hold a sweater without caring whether you needed it. It can sit in a passenger seat and become, for one evening, the place where the unfinished part of the day remains visible but contained. You look toward it again. Only once. The window reflects a little of the porch light, so the bag is partly itself and partly shadow. Its straps are curved in a tired way. One side has slumped against the seat. It looks less like something to carry and more like something that has been carried enough. Maybe that is why you do not move yet. Your hand rests near your pocket, near the keys, near the small decision of going inside. The house is close. The door is close. A few steps would finish the arrival. But the body understands that finishing something too quickly is not the same as being ready. So you stay. A car moves past, slow enough that its headlights travel across the porch boards, across your shoes, across the mailbox post. For a second, everything is lit from the side. Then the light is gone, and the evening gathers itself back together. No one notices. Or maybe that is not true. Maybe the house notices in the way houses do, without language. It knows the sound of your car. It knows the pause before your key reaches the door. It knows the difference between coming home quickly and standing outside for one breath more. It does not pull you in. That feels important tonight. After a day when the steady part of you had to keep showing up, the quiet does not ask for that part first. It does not ask for a plan. It does not ask whether you are worried, or brave, or disappointed, or ready to begin again. It makes room for the part of you that is simply standing. The porch boards hold your weight. The mailbox stands beside you. The street keeps moving. And somewhere inside all of that, there is a softer belonging beginning to return. Not the kind that depends on a job title, or a schedule, or the way other people know what to ask you for. Something smaller than that. Older, maybe? The feeling of being one person among many, arriving at a front step at the end of a long day, with the evening air on your face and an ordinary bag waiting in the car. Nothing is solved by this. But something has stopped rushing. For this minute, the commute has become a bridge back to yourself. Not all the way. Not perfectly. Only enough for your breath to find the porch, and for your eyes to rest once more on the quiet street before the door opens. The longer you stand there, the less the porch feels like an edge. At first it was only the place between the driveway and the door. A step. A mailbox. A little square of light. The kind of place a person crosses without noticing, carrying mail under one arm and a bag in the other, already thinking about dinner or a phone charger or whether the trash cans need to be brought in. But tonight the step holds its shape differently. It becomes a small public place and a small private place at the same time. The street is still near enough to hear. A car rolls over a loose patch in the road. Somewhere down the block, someone laughs once, then their voice disappears behind a closing door. The neighborhood has not gone silent. It is only doing what neighborhoods do at this hour, letting each life move behind its own window, each room keeping its own weather. You are outside, but not far from home. You are home, but not inside yet. There is something honest about that middle place. After a day like this, the door can feel like a question, even when it is only a door. Going in means entering the room where your life will keep being your life. The shoes by the wall. The mail that may or may not matter. The small tasks that do not know there has been a layoff. The quiet expectation that someone steady has come back. So the step gives you a little space before all of that. Not escape. Just space. The tote bag remains visible through the car window, still on the passenger seat. It has become part of the porch now, even though it is not on the porch. Part of the same small pause. The same evening. The same unfinished arrival. You remember setting it there earlier, maybe without thinking much about it. Passenger seat, straps turned inward, the bag open enough for the top of a folder or a sweater to show. It took the place where another person might have sat. It rode beside you through traffic, quiet as a witness, as though the day needed somewhere to sit that was not entirely inside your chest. That thought comes and goes. You do not hold it tightly. A porch light hums in its small electrical way. The siding of the house holds the last warmth of the day. The mailbox, plain and slightly marked from weather, stands at the edge of the step like something that has seen many arrivals and never made a story out of them. Maybe that is why ordinary things can be kind. They do not make too much of us. The step does not know what title you had, or what title you no longer have. The mailbox does not know whether you answered well when someone spoke carefully across a table. The car does not know how long you kept your face arranged, or how tired your hands were when you cleaned up afterward. And still, each thing holds its place. The porch holds your shoes. The car holds the bag. The house holds the rooms. The street holds its passing cars and distant voices and the small rush of tires in the evening. For once, no one thing asks to be everything. Maybe that is what lets your breathing lower. Not because the worry has gone. It has not. It is still somewhere nearby, like the tote bag, visible through glass, waiting to be carried in when the time comes. But it is not pressed against you in the same way. The commute has thinned it. The porch has given it edges. The quiet street has allowed it to be one part of the evening, not the whole evening. You look down at your hands. They are only hands now. Not proof of steadiness. Not proof of usefulness. Not proof that you can manage what comes next. They are just hands at 7:45 in the evening, near the keys, near the door, having done small things all day because small things were what could still be done. There is a softness in realizing that. No one may ever know about the cup you picked up, the chair you straightened, the counter you left clearer than you found it. No one may remember the tiny order you made inside a day that had taken some order from you. But the body remembers. The bag remembers in its own object way. The quiet house, waiting behind the door, seems to remember too. Across the street, headlights move slowly past and then away. The sound fades. The porch returns to its dim circle. For another breath, you do not reach for the tote bag. You do not open the door. You only stand there, belonging to the evening in the way any tired person belongs to it. Not as someone finished. Not as someone ready. Only as someone who has arrived. The porch begins to feel less like a place where you are waiting, and more like a place where you have been allowed to stop. There is a difference. Waiting still has a kind of pressure inside it. Waiting means something is supposed to happen next. The door opening. The bag being lifted. The evening moving forward. A phone being checked. A light being turned on. Stopping is quieter than that. Stopping does not explain itself. You stand near the mailbox with the keys still close to your hand, and the air has cooled just enough to make the porch feel separate from the rooms inside. Not far. Just separate. A little pocket of evening where the house can be near without needing anything from you yet. The tote bag is still where you left it. On the passenger seat, it holds its small ordinary shape. Nothing about it looks important from the outside. Anyone walking past might see only a bag, the kind people carry into offices, grocery stores, libraries, waiting rooms, parking lots. A simple thing with handles. Fabric slightly bent from use. The opening dark at the top. But you know what it has held today. Not only papers. Not only a sweater. Not only whatever small items collect at the bottom, a receipt folded twice, a pen, a wrapper, something you meant to throw away later. It has held the way you kept moving. It has held the quiet fact that even after your place in the day changed, the day still asked you to pass through it like a person. To walk down a hallway. To gather your things. To clean up what did not have to be cleaned. To carry yourself to the car, start the engine, merge into traffic, and return by the same streets that did not know anything had happened. The streets never know. They keep their lights. Their stop signs. Their crosswalks. Their small stores with bright windows. Their corners where someone waits to turn left. Their cracked pavement and distant sirens and the slow evening line of cars heading home. For a while, that can feel lonely. Then, sometimes, it changes. The same moving world that did not notice your weight begins to feel like the thing that helped carry it. Not kindly in a personal way. Not tender the way a hand can be tender. But steady, in the plain way a road is steady. There, beneath the tires. There, under every car. There, whether anyone feels ready or not. The commute did not heal anything. It only gave time a shape. A green light. A turn. A familiar intersection. A stretch of road where the houses thinned. The last few minutes before your driveway. Each small piece made a bridge without calling itself one. And now you are standing at the end of it. The house is close enough that you can imagine the first room before you enter. The dimness. The air inside. Maybe the faint smell of something lived in, old coffee, detergent, a towel drying somewhere, the closed warmth of rooms that have waited all day. There may be things out of place. There may be nothing unusual at all. The quiet witness of the house stays behind the door. It does not ask you to be grateful. It does not ask you to feel better. It simply remains there, with its ordinary walls and used rooms, holding the life that is still yours even when one part of it has become uncertain. That may be why the front step feels safe tonight. Not because it protects you from the world, but because it lets the world and home exist at the same time. Street noise in the distance. A tote bag in the car. A hand near the keys. A tired person not needing to become useful for another minute. You look once toward the quiet street. The movement is still there, but it has softened. Headlights pass behind branches. A car slows near the corner. Someone's porch across the way glows with the modest confidence of a light left on because people come home. For the first time all evening, belonging does not feel like a role. It feels smaller. Almost like standing where you are, without having to earn the step beneath your feet. The weight has not disappeared. It is still in the car. It is still in the body. It may come inside with you soon, folded into the evening, placed near a chair, set down beside the door. But not yet. For now, there is only the little porch, the mailbox, the moving street, and the house keeping quiet witness behind you. For now, that is enough room. Inside the pause, the evening grows deeper. Not darker in a sudden way. Only lower. The kind of lower that happens when fewer cars pass, when the spaces between sounds become longer, when the house behind you seems to settle into its own breathing before you have even opened the door. The porch light keeps its small circle. It does not reach far. It touches the edge of the step, the mailbox post, part of the walk, and the side of your shoes. Beyond that, the street belongs to itself. A strip of pavement. A few parked cars. A window glowing here and there, ordinary rooms holding ordinary lives. You stand in the middle of it quietly. The tote bag waits in the passenger seat, and for the first time tonight, it does not feel like something you have failed to carry in. It feels like something that has been set down in the only place it could be set down for now. There are some weights that need a public place for a moment. Not public in the loud sense. Not in the middle of a crowd. Only somewhere not fully private yet. A car seat. A porch step. A sidewalk near a mailbox. A space where the world is still moving around you, but no one is close enough to ask you to explain. That is where the weight can breathe. Inside the house, it might become a conversation. Or silence at the table. Or a sentence you do not know how to begin. Inside your own mind, it might become too tight, too circular, too full of tomorrow. But here, for another breath, it is only a tote bag on the passenger seat. Only fabric. Only straps. Only an ordinary thing holding the outline of an ordinary day that did not feel ordinary to you. The street gives you that much privacy by not stopping. It carries other people past the house without turning them toward you. Someone drives by with one hand on the wheel. Someone else walks a dog half a block away, the leash making a faint line in the porch light as they pass another driveway. Farther off, a truck changes gears and continues toward some other evening. Everyone is going somewhere. And somehow, that does not make you feel alone. It makes the world feel wide enough for what you are carrying. Wide enough that your small stopped minute can exist inside it without needing to announce itself. Wide enough for a laid-off worker on a front step, a tote bag in a parked car, and a house waiting without judgment. The commute has brought you back to yourself as gently as it knew how. Through traffic lights. Through turns you did not need to think about. Through the low sound of tires and the familiar reach for the driveway. It did not give you answers. It only made a path between the place where you had to keep your face steady and the place where your face can soften before anyone sees it. That is something. A small thing, maybe. But the evening is made of small things now. The mailbox beside you. The porch board under your heel. The last trace of warmth coming from the hood of the car. The quiet weight of the keys. The tote bag resting in the seat instead of hanging from your shoulder. You look once more toward the street. Not searching for anything. Just looking. A pair of headlights appears at the corner, slows, then turns away. The sound fades almost before you notice the silence it leaves behind. The house remains behind you, used and safe, with its rooms not perfect, not empty, not asking to be earned. For a moment, belonging feels less like being needed. It feels more like being included. Included in the porch light. Included in the passing street. Included in the small mercy of a minute where nothing has to be lifted yet. You breathe, and the breath does not fix the day. It only returns you to it. The tote bag will come in soon. The door will open. The rooms will receive what they can. But for now, before your hand reaches for the handle, the house keeps its quiet witness, and the street keeps moving, and the weight you carry has found a place to rest beside you. When you finally move, it is not because the pause has ended cleanly. It is only because the evening has made enough room. Your hand finds the door handle. The metal is cool from the air. Behind you, the street keeps passing in its softened way, one car at a time, each set of headlights appearing and leaving without needing anything from you. The tote bag is still in the passenger seat. You will carry it in soon. Maybe not carefully. Maybe just by the straps, with the familiar weight against your leg, the way ordinary things return to the body. It may be set near a chair. It may stay by the door until morning. It may hold the day a little longer than you do. For now, you look once toward the quiet street. The house waits behind you, used and safe, with its small sounds and its imperfect rooms. The porch light holds the step. The mailbox stands where it always stands. Nothing has changed enough to explain the feeling, and still something in you has come a little closer to home. Not lighter exactly. Only less alone. The world is still moving, and you are still here within it. A tired person at 7:45. A tote bag in the car. A front step near the mailbox. And for one private minute before going inside, the weight you carried did not have to disappear to be given a quiet place.